And good morning, folks, everybody out there. How's everybody doing? It's election day. Yay. And I just got to share this. I just got a tweet actually off my Twitter feed. It was from a TV station in Des Moines. And it said, here's good news, everybody. At 3:40, I think it is 3:40 this afternoon, we will air our last political ad. So that's the type of commercial that I think people are looking for in this time frame that we are. It's the last political commercial, and so then we can move on with the other commercials that pretty much annoy us. But today we're really happy to have you. I'm Frank Spillers with Rural Community Solutions, to where we help design family-friendly, youth-centered places that attract people that are entrepreneurs, people that maybe want to start a Main Street business within your community, or they have a home-based business, but it is designing that environment that helps people want to live into your community, and you attract them to live there. And so all this week, we are really happy to have with us guests. We're doing interviews every day, but all this week, we are focusing on how does your Main Street businesses have a digital presence? Because with the digital presence of where your Main Street businesses are, I'll help you come to where we got this. Is back in April, Main Street USA did a survey. They did a survey of about 300,000 of their members, and they got a pretty good response back, about between 5,000 and 6,000 of their members. They got a response back, which isn't bad for a mail-out, come-back survey. And the survey indicated off there that more than 63% of their Main Street business members did not have a digital presence. And because of that digital presence, when their community was shut down because of COVID, they didn't have any way for their customers to come through their front door and to buy. They didn't have any type of engagement with them as they could do business with them. So there was no other option. And so we got together what we call HOST. HOST is the Hometown Online Solutions team. And our group of volunteers are people that are experts in how do you have an online presence. And today, we are so pleased to have Gloria Russell from Russell Resources out of Minnesota. And Gloria is an expert in creating strategic written content for your digital marketing and your websites that will help resonate with the customers that you want to have come through your digital front door. So, Gloria, welcome. It's so glad to have you.
Thank you so much, Frank. It's so good to be here. I'm missing Kim, but it's really good to be here with you.
Yeah, I know. We always take that step down on sometimes like that, but well, Kim, I can't remember if I mentioned earlier, but Kim is working the polls, the election polls, not working the poll, but the election polls as she's doing her civic duty. She loves to do that election polls on there, and so I stayed home and is going to hold up this end of it. But I would, if she's not too busy, I know she's going to at least join us in spirit here. So we appreciate that. So I will tell her that she was missed from you, Gloria, and she will like that. So Gloria, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your business, and how you came to do what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for the pleasure of being here. So I came from a corporate environment where I managed, I worked on a lot of strategy and a lot of implementation on many levels. So when I started my own business, really I have a heart for small businesses, and it's my goal to help them achieve whatever their goals are and to help them succeed. So the best way for me to do that is by creating written content. And so that's why it folds into what you're talking about. And it was heartbreaking for me when I learned about the survey that you were referring to. So many people having struggles these days. So while the content has always been important, I think now it's more important than ever. So I support and help the business owners who are really struggling to write that content for their websites, and they really want to feel confident that they're sending the right message to the right people. So with the written content, I can help them gain that visibility, credibility, and marketability, which is so important. Those are key factors that as business owners, we all need and want. So that's really where I focus my attention and love working with the small businesses.
Well, and that's important because of the written word. I mean, the description of your business is so important. That I know some businesses spend a lot of money on their trademark or their brand name and their tagline, but they forget about how do they describe their business, and sometimes that just doesn't match. And so that written word of your description, I mean, it's like you're trying to read a recipe and get people hungry to eat your food.
So very true. And when I am working with people, what we do, we have some deep discussions at the beginning because I need to understand what their business is. So we talk about the why, the mission, the vision, and of course, the products and the services. And business owners are always very happy to talk about this because it's near and dear to their heart. They usually have a real passion for it. So I love those conversations. And that's a lot of times content and character that we can use later in the content as well. But the other thing we really need to talk about and get clear on is who are they serving? So we talk a lot about those people. Who are those clients that you really want? Who are those clients that you are best suited for helping them with these solutions? And I have a process that we go through. We really learn a lot about those clients. And once we understand the business and the clients that we're looking for and that we can help, then we can write some excellent content for their website.
So talk a little bit and talk just a little bit about that process that you use to really help
Sure.
a business get down to their ideal client.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we have a process that we go through. There are many steps to it, but we really, I think just because I've been doing it for a long time and I've done a lot of studying, and I'm really pretty good at asking the right questions. So we go through the process, get clear on that client and what they need, because they really need to be visible. We need to have people have the ability to find them. And it's very important online for your business that people can find you, and Google can be your friend. So when I'm writing, it might sound odd, but I'm actually writing for two different audiences. One is writing for those people and speaking directly to them so that they know that we have the solutions that they're looking for. But the other, which a lot of people don't really think about so much, is we're actually writing for Google too. Because Google is, if you're keeping Google happy, Google will help people find you. We all know that now when we're looking for something or we have a question, we need a product or a service, we all Google it, right? So it is very helpful in my writing. I will do the SEO content, which means copywriting that's for the search engine optimization. We won't go into that today, but the basis of it is that you're using the keywords and the key phrases that Google will like and use to help people find you. So the process really is going through what they're providing, how they're solving the problems for the clients. And we come up with a huge list. So it gives us a lot to talk about, and so that the clients really know that we understand them and what they're looking for.
Well, and it's so important, because then that really helps the client formulate in their head what their ideal customer looks like But
Yes.
going back to Google, I mean, Google's one. It's I don't, whether you like the online solution or all the digital stuff that's going on or not, it's reality. And this is where Google then can take what you're searching for on just personally, and then all of a sudden you find ads coming into your feed, and that is because of the content written in those businesses that are coming up on your feed. Now, if you don't do Google ads or Facebook ads, those aren't going to come up on your feed, but that's the basis of writing good content, so you do come up to people's pages where they're searching for, right?
Right. And another goal, which is a little bit more of a long term, it takes a little bit of time, but it's that organic growth. And so as we write, Google does begin to recognize. And so you can do that organically without paying the extra to. It just takes a little bit more time. So I do pay a lot of attention to that. It's interesting to me that most of us just don't have a lot of patience anymore. Me included. And so when people are searching, they want to find things quickly. And so we try to help them with that as much as we can. And the other thing is that statistics show that more than half of us are searching on our mobile devices. So we've got this small mobile device that we're looking at. And so I take that into consideration when writing as well, because people are reading on a small device. So you need to have a little bit more white space so they can follow. You need to have shorter sentences. We're not writing a novel here, and really focus on what it is that people want to find, because they don't have the patience to look and search. So we try to make it very obvious and clear how we can serve them and make the website and the content more about them, about the clients, than about the business and the owner. That will come later.
So what are most of your clients afraid of?
Well, I think there are a lot of obstacles, but there are a few common themes. The biggest, I would say, the number one, is people tell me they can't write. They don't like to write, or they don't have time to write. And so that really is the biggest thing. And lucky for me, I love to write. So that's what I'm here for, is to help them. But a lot of people just don't make time for it because it's just not their thing. And I get that, because we all have gifts, we all have talents, and writing might not be their thing. They do a marvelous job and are gifted in the other areas and doing whatever their thing is. So I'm happy to provide that for them. But that really is the number one. Also, I think a lot of times people just don't know where to start. They don't know what to say, they don't know how to speak to the clients. And sometimes they wonder a little bit about how much detail should they include. And I do see websites that I see that really aren't working very well. It's a lot of times that there's too much technical jargon, too much detail, a lot about how we do this and how we do that, rather than focusing on the client and how we're helping them. Because really, clients might like that information at some point, but really they want to know, can you help them? And have you helped people who are in this same type of situation before? And if you can answer those questions quickly, then you can gain the attention. So I really try to pay attention to that in the content. And that's one thing I think people can use if they are writing their own content. What else? I think for people who have English as a second language, it's very difficult to write their content for English speakers. And so I really have a heart for them. If I can do their content, or if they have content and I can edit that content, it will level the playing field for them. And so that I really love that as well. And then I just think some people, maybe they've changed their focus, or they've added some services. They're just not sure how to talk about that, how to represent that, in their website. And another biggie, actually, a lot of people they're a little bit intimidated by their competition's website. And in some cases, the competition might have a website they think is better in some respects, but it's your business and you bring a special uniqueness to it and how you serve your clients. So it's different. So we can correct all that and make it wonderful so that you shine and stand out as well or better as your competitors.
I think that's one thing that even the social media, and we'll get into social media in a little bit, but the social media has done for folks is that it's a comparison. Here's what I see here, and it's that next shiny object on there too. And so as you're developing your content for a client, and the client's developing the content, talk to me just a little bit about consistency from the website to maybe putting it online on social media to Facebook and doing that. How important is that consistency message in the branding and the content that you develop?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's very important. You want people to know who you are, what you do, and it should be clear. And so you want a consistent message, whether it's the branding, the logo, the colors, the font, the everything, and including the content. And when it keeps going back, I think, to that issue of when you know who your ideal clients are, you can speak to them. And so you know how to speak to them because you know what's troubling them, you know what they want, or maybe it's that they're looking for some exciting, wonderful thing that they've been hoping for, and you can provide. But you know them well enough that you can talk to them no matter the medium, but you can talk to them in a way that they will understand and appreciate and know that you understand them and who they are. It's a little bit about building the relationship because that's what it all comes down to as well, building the relationship all based on trust and confidence. So when you put your content out there, that's really part of it as well.
Yeah, it's like we want to be in the same living room with our client or that business and feel like, well, you really care about me and you really understand who I am. So yes, I'm going to trust you to help solve my problem, which is what entrepreneurship is all about. Is here's an opportunity that you have addressed, and then here's the solution. Now, how do we get to communicate our solution to helping solve somebody's problem?
Right. And that I think the people can feel that authenticity.
Okay. So what, as a business owner that's on Main Street right now, and they have just come through this, well, we're not through the crisis
Maybe
yet.
not through it.
I'm gonna keep saying that. And there's, we have, I don't know, 41 states that are still rising in cases and things like that. Then there might be shutdowns. Who knows what's going to be happening?
Right.
But as a business looking at the long term, what do they need to do first to create that digital presence, and how can you help them get over that? Yesterday we helped them solve the money issue of how do I afford it. That was yesterday. So if you
That
missed
was awesome.
go back to yesterday and listen to to Blaine Stevens. That's what it is.
Blaine, it is awesome, and he has a very good supportive business there. He can help a lot of people.
He does, and
no risk.
So that's an important one that you go back and listen to, and then and so then we don't have that issue in front of us. You can't afford this. So what's the next step a business needs to do to be on have that online presence with you?
Right. Well, I think the thing is you kind of want to educate yourself a little bit, and it's always good to reach out for some help, read some books, whatever it is that you need to do. And you want to set your goals and priorities. I really believe in simplifying and taking it one step at a time. People who try to do everything all at once, it doesn't usually work out. And that usually ends up being an obstacle in itself and a frustration. So I think it's a matter of setting your priorities and just realizing, let's do one thing after another until we can reach our goal. And once you have that foundation, you can keep building on it. Would you like an example?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a client he has a small business. He's been at it for quite a few years, and he wanted to grow, but he really did not have a digital presence. So he had tried at one point, but he really didn't have the proper resources, so that didn't really pan out. So he wanted to grow. So what we did first was to build a website. Now, I don't build a website, but I partner with very good web designers who can do that and do a great job, because it does need to be professional. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't need to be horribly expensive, but it needs to be professional. So the first thing we did was to get a website that would really represent him well, that he could be proud of, that would look professional. And I did the content. So, of course, again, we had the conversations about, well, who do you really want to serve now that you're growing? What's that going to look like? And it was a local business. So, you think about the neighborhoods, the cities that the areas that you really want to serve and are able to serve. So we had a lot of conversations and really narrowed that niche and got that figured out. So I was able to write the content that would serve very well on the website. So we had that, and he was very happy, because now he actually had something he could point to and say, well, look at my website. And, and he would know too that other people were looking at it and would find out more information about his services and who he serves best. So after the website, it would basically be a social media profile. It was next door, because he, again, had the local service. So I created the profile there, which was really short and concise, linked to his website. But I also talked to many of his clients and had them write recommendations for him that would show up on that site. And they were thrilled. They were happy to do it because they loved the work he did. They were happy to put the news out. So that helped him as well. Then we actually did a postcard campaign, a series of 4, very simply done, but each one had a little different message, but consistent branding throughout the whole thing, so people would recognize that it's all about this company. And he started sending those out. And in fact, after his first mailing, he called me and said, you know what? I got a call and I got a new customer. He was elated. Anyway, now I just talked to him yesterday, which is why I was thinking about this particular client, because I'm starting on a LinkedIn, so another social media business platform, and starting a profile for him. But here's what he told me yesterday. He said, since I started working with you and we've started on this digital presence, and again, it's just step by step, he said, my business has doubled.
Wow.
So I was thrilled for him. And that's what makes my heart sing. And that's why I'm in business, is to help people achieve that kind of success. And so I have a lot of faith in them. And I think it is. Take it step by step. Just plan it out, what you can do.
And that's really important for entrepreneurs to understand, is that you're not good in everything. So, you have a creative mind, and your passion, your product, what you're doing. But sometimes we just can't describe what we do in a very efficient manner. And I know, going through our processes and things like that, trying to describe our ideal client, because as entrepreneurs, we want to be everything to everybody. We think everybody should use our service, needs what we offer, but not everybody does. And so as we start to narrow that down and narrow what we do, then we reach more people actually that need our services. And so that's how that doubling of the business can take place.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That's got to be, for people that are in business that have that feedback, that's why we are in business.
It's so very true. And it really does feel good. But you're right. You do need to really do a lot of thinking about who are you serving. And when you can speak to the right people, they will find you and they'll be there. It's that saying about when you speak to everyone, you're pretty much speaking to no one, right? So we try to really make sure that we know who we're talking to. Then it makes it a lot easier.
It's like entrepreneurs out there knocking on the door saying, hello, is anyone there?
No.
and they're knocking on the wrong door. Everybody's over here and it's not here at this room.
Yeah, it's not so funny when that's your business.
So how do people then get a hold of you? What's the best way to get hold of you? You can email us, you can email me, and I can get you in touch with Gloria, or how can they find you?
Basically, it's pretty easy. You can find me on my website at writer.mn. And I am in Minnesota, so it's easy to remember the MN that might stand for Minnesota. So you can do that. But I just, I really love working with the clients. And I think once we get the content where it should be and they see the results, they have so much more confidence in themselves and in their business. And the interesting thing is, it also seems to help them with their verbal messaging, because we've talked about it so much, and we've talked about who their clients are. We've talked about all the, many ways. I want to say like the hundreds of ways that they serve these people. They are better able to express that when they meet new people. And so that's really like a wonderful side effect.
That is. And how we describe it, well, it just helps the entrepreneur understand their audience more. It's like when I go out on stage, I need to know who I'm speaking to. And when I understand how I'm speaking to them, I can use different words that's going to communicate and resonate with them, that will build that relationship between us. And so it's that importance for the written word too on there.
Right.
One as a side note, Gloria used to live in a big city, a major metropolitan area of Minneapolis, St. Paul. She used to live there. Now she is the proud parent of a rural house. And she took her business with her from a major metro area into a rural setting, exactly what the show is talking about. So Gloria, how is the transition coming?
It's awesome. It's awesome. And the reason that I did it, once I realized, I loved where I lived and it was lovely, but I wanted to be closer to family. And this whole COVID thing, a lot of people are lonely, including my 94-year-old mother. So it's just wonderful to be closer to her. And I can still do all that I do. I can help my people from anywhere. So I think when people work with me that, they really love the process and the results, but probably what they like most is they don't have to do the writing themselves. But for those people who do, I think, this kind of can provide a little bit of maybe some tips for them. And I think when you get it right with the content, it really helps you just fall in love with your business all over again. It's awesome. So, and it's awesome for me. I get to do what I love and I'm living where I love. So thank you.
Oh, that's just great. And you didn't lose any business because of it, right?
Oh, no. In fact, here's the wonderful thing about digital and your digital presence. I can be here. I'm in Minnesota. You're in Iowa. Here we are together, and we're speaking to people who knows where they all are. And I've had the opportunity to, I work with people across the country and even in other countries. So distance really doesn't have to hold you back.
Yeah, that's, I was thinking about that. We have had the host team, the Hometown Online Solutions team, together since March, and we have never met each other face to face. And that's just, I'm finding a lot of my relationships are like that I have built relationships through the show or on Zoom or through other networks that I've never met people. I think I know more people, and I'm closer to more people that I have met digitally and are customers of mine than I've done face to face.
It's true. I looked at my client list, and this was some time ago, so the numbers would be even higher now, but the greater percentage of the people that I work with, I have never met face to face. They're in other states, or, probably we never will, but we really feel like we know each other. And it's wonderful that we have this technology to work together.
Yeah, and you hear a lot of this talk about technology is going to ruin relationships, and people aren't going to have relationships anymore. And I think that might have been true in the beginning, but it has made people aware and conscious to how do we build relationships digitally these days, because it is becoming more normal to do that, specifically as business starts to grow and we're doing more global business through the digital process. So, Gloria, we really appreciate it. This is
Thank
Gloria
you.
Russell from Russell Resources. And you can get a hold of Gloria either through me or Kim at our email addresses are frank@ghorizons or kim@ghorizons. And Gloria, we really appreciate taking the time on there, and we're going to have you back because we can go deeper into how to do this brand. So thank you
so much, Frank.
Hang in there. I'll be right back with you on there, Sue. But thank you for listening for Rural Community Solutions live stream TV. We hope that you have enjoyed this process, but stay tuned. Come back tomorrow. We're going to be talking to Lisa Carpenter. Lisa is with I have to read it. Okay, so she's with 47th Parallel Print and Design. Lisa's going to be talking about branding. And today, Gloria talked about how to describe that brand, but Lisa's going to be talking about how to develop that brand and how to develop that brand. And this is something that Lisa did for us, Hometown Online Solutions team, or host of how we describe ourselves, and how we just took a volunteer organization and we put this together. And she described exactly who we were through that comment. And so come back tomorrow, and let me come back with you. Come back tomorrow and we'll talk to Lisa and we'll go deeper into how to build that digital brand. So I'm Frank Spillers with Rural Community Solutions TV live stream. We really hope that you have enjoyed it. If you know of a Main Street business that should be watching this, tell them about that. Go to our YouTube channel at Rural Community Solutions TV and share what you're learning here with your Main Street businesses, because this is important of how we can continue and expand our economy during this time and how we can help our local businesses. So hit the subscribe button so you know when we go live every day, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, right here on your YouTube channel or our Facebook page at Rural Community Solutions. So as we build relationships, engagement, entrepreneurship, and collaboration around the globe, we hope that you join us in how to develop your communities. I'm Frank Spillers. Thanks for joining in, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.